Our last inductee is a 1975 Fairless graduate, Mr. Mick Dwyer. He is the son of Whitey and Ruth Dwyer and has two brothers, John and Bob. He grew up at 228 West Worcester Street in Navarre. In high school, Mick was part of the football, basketball, and baseball teams and was involved in Pep Club and Falcon Forum.
Growing up, one gentleman just stands out, Larry Wilson. He really taught me, and I know the players he coached, what life was all about.
While on the basketball team, Mick scored a career 618 points and had 445 rebounds. His team went to regionals his senior year.
One of the biggest guys that I met through the years was Jim Savage, and he had a lot to do with pretty much my upbringing in baseball. Kind of put me into the category of what baseball is all about. Just a great teacher. He had some great teams back here in Navarre, baseball, particular baseball growing up, from 6 years old, 8 years old, all the way up into high school. It was primarily this gentleman. So Jim had a lot of bearing on what I did in the baseball segment of my life.
He was a 4-year letterman on the baseball team. During this time, Mick had 9 home runs, 66 hits in 66 games, and still holds the Fairless baseball records for stolen bases in a season with 26 and career steals with 65. His team was sectional champs his junior and senior year and was part of the first team in Fairless history to make it to regionals.
I was a big guy, 6'3", 210 pounds, and I ran like a deer. And people still can't believe that I ever did what I did in the baseball, stolen bases.
He was only caught stealing 4 times in his entire baseball career. After high school, Mick walked on to the Malone baseball team. Then, due to a first baseman suffering an injury during spring training, Mick became a starter and never looked back.
Coach Bob Starcher was really the guy who put me on the track of being a professional baseball player.
He was NAIA District All-Star Best Offensive Player, Team MVP, and the first player from Malone to be selected for Second Team All-American. After leaving college, Mick was invited to a walk-on tryout at Three Rivers Stadium, where he was immediately signed to a Class A rookie league in Walla Walla, Washington.
Then after Malone, after 3 years of playing there, I had the privilege of having a tryout at Three Rivers Stadium, where the Pittsburgh Pirates play. And because I was a 21, I call myself a 21-year-old idiot, because I had no idea personnel-wise or anyone at this point, but I know the people who know this guy's name will get a kick out of this. But a good friend of mine, Don Buttry, we call him Boot, he knew the general manager of the San Diego Padres, and he goes, "I'm going to get you a tryout at Three Rivers." And I thought he was just full of crap, because I've been trying out since I was 12 years old, okay? Well, next thing you know, he picked me up with a handful of guys, and we drove over to Pittsburgh. But here's the crazy thing about it. I go to Three Rivers. They said, "Grab a bat. Let's see what you got." I started hitting the ball out of the ballpark, literally. And the coaches were just losing it. They're like, "What in the, where have you been all your life? I mean, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, "Hey, Canton, Ohio, grew up over there." So anyhow, I go down, speak with Roger Craig, and he puts me on the phone with Bill Fontaine, the general manager. He goes, "Hey, man, we're signing you right on the spot. We're sending you right out to Walla Walla, Washington."
He was reassigned to the Walla Walla Padres 8 months later and released the next season. After that, he played professional softball for the Cleveland Competitors. He played for 1 season before retiring. In 1993, Mick was elected to the Stark County Baseball Hall of Fame. Mick sold his flooring business earlier this year. He is now retired and uses his time to travel the world. He also enjoys announcing basketball games for Dalton High School.